Hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon as per your respective time zones. On behalf of entire Mastek Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to the 24A HR Helpdesk and ORC Advisory webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with the new features and functionalities as a part of this quarterly release that Oracle provides. My name is Sachin Mishra and I'm an CMS Operations Executive at Mastek Managed Services team. Today, I'm your host for this session, and I'm glad to introduce my colleague Shevin Lobo, who is an HCM expert and our part of HCM team at Mastek Services team. Today, he will take us through all the HR help desks and ORC updates for 24A quarter release. This session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes, and we will make sure that we also spare some time to answer all your questions that you may have. We also have a panelist available, Anuj Singh, so you can ask any questions through chat or question panel. Before we move to the agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. We would like to convey you our approach towards the Oracle updates in a very simpler method. We will be taking you through vital analysis for the 24A updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporating new features and updates easily into the system. Also, we will sync you on any bugs, known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session, so please do ask your questions through chat or question panel. We will answer them at the end of the session. And in case if we run out of time, we will make sure to respond you by connecting you at later stage to answer all your questions. So list of new features coming into 24A, detailings on features, so you get brief understanding on what the new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and important takeaway for you as a decision maker. So there are four components which we have done in-depth analysis of feature which we are going to present to you. The first one is impact level analysis, which demonstrate the impact on the end user. If it is low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. And if it is high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second one is which we are aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be certain configurations which may be required, or some can be used without any changes. Last one is a quick win. This term we use to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. So with this, now I'm handing over to my colleague, Shevin Lobo. So Shevin, please unmute yourself and all the best. The stage is yours.
Thanks, Sachin, for the lovely introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as per respective time zones. I'm Chauvin. I'll be walking you through the 24A release for Oracle Recruiting Cloud and HR Helpdesk. Before we go on to the actual features, here is our analysis of the latest release. In this particular quarter, we have 36 features, which is for both ORC and HR Helpdesk, out of which 31 are default and 5 are opt-in. I will talk about what these exact definitions mean in the next slide. Apart from this, usually we have a REST category in which we define the known issues or any features which are getting decommissioned. But this time around, we won't have that category. So Mastek categorizes all the features into these three categories. The first one is quick wins default with no configuration. So as the name suggests, you do not require any configuration for these features to be enabled in your application. The second one is quick wins default with configuration. So you require minimal configuration for these features to be available in your environment. And the third one is quick wins opt-ins. So the admins will have the ability to opt in for this feature based on their business requirement. So we'll go into the first category, quick wins default with no configuration. The first feature that we have here is name changes from best to suggested. So from 24A onwards, any term that says best candidate will be renamed to suggested candidate. And apart from that, best career will be renamed to suggested career, best successor will be renamed to suggested successor. Now out of this, best candidate is what we are looking for in ORC, whereas best career and best successor is more for talent module. The next feature is easier access to external assessments. So as you're aware, Oracle Recruiting Cloud has the ability to integrate with various background check and assessment partners. So which assessment partners have their links displayed on their career site will now open on new tab. This is for better user experience, as we know, which is very important for our candidates. I'll go on to the next feature. So enhancements for displaying jobs suggested by resume. In previous quarters, Oracle introduced this feature where the candidates could upload their resume and get recommendations based on the content of their resume. Now, Oracle has done certain enhancements there. The first thing that they've done is they have given the ability to enlarge the button size or reduce the size based on our organization design. And apart from that, we will also have a privacy policy displayed there. So if the candidates want to remove their resumes or want to upload a different one based on the privacy policy, they can do that. The next feature is explore jobs using Oracle Maps. So this was a feature that was introduced a couple of quarters ago. There are some enhancements to this particular feature. What this feature does is it displays a map on the career site without any integration, and clicking on the map pins, the candidates can explore new opportunities. So the enhancement here is that the load time for this particular map will be reduced significantly. So it will again enhance the user experience. Apart from that, now you will have a pin there, and that pin will open up the list of locations that are available in which there are job requisitions. And once you click on the location name, it will list on all the requisitions that are open in that particular area. The next feature is import designs. So as we're aware, Oracle Recruiting Cloud has great ability to be customized based on our organization design. Now from 24A, the recruiting admins will get an opportunity to import design files which are readily available, and they can then have a starting point on which they can build and design their career sites. So a did you know call action will be available when they're starting new, and it will redirect the admins to a space where the template design files are available. The next feature is completed status on candidate interviews. So let's say a candidate has been sent an invite for the interview and the current date has passed the interview date. A completed status will be shown to the recruiting team. The recruiting team can then make certain actions based on that completed status, like ask for interview feedback or any process that is available after the interviews. The next feature is configurable content of calendar events for interviews. So whenever an interview invite is sent, a .ics file is generated and is attached in the email that has the invites. Now going forward, we can customize that .ics file, which essentially the interviewers or the candidates can download and then have a schedule in their calendars. So there are three categories that are introduced by Oracle. First one is interview calendar file for candidates. The second one is interview calendar file for interviewers. And the third one is interview Office 365 event for interviewers. So we can customize this particular calendar in however way we like. So I'll just show some pictures that are available here. So here we can see the admins can write any content and any codes that they want within that uh, .ics file. This is how it would display to candidates and to interviewers. And apart from that, there's one point to note here. If we are using Teams or Zoom integration, then this particular customization will be overridden and the default generated file will be sent to the interviewers and the candidates. The next feature is candidate pool member list sorting. So on the candidate pool page, if the candidate counts exceeds 10,000, then the sort by box that you see there in the picture won't be available. So if you want to use sorting, you'll have to use certain filters to reduce the count to be less than 10,000. Now this is to enhance the UI performance, which is again very important for our recruiters to save time. The next feature is ignore existing candidate selection process on setup data import. Now, let's say you have two environments and you want to import your CSP from one environment to the other. You would usually use the import and export feature that is available. Now, if both the environments, the source and the target, have the same CSP names, then that particular setup won't be disrupted. In that case, I'll just zoom in a bit. in that case, you would have a status completed with warnings. This essentially means that the existing CSP has not been touched, right? If there are no CSPs that are in common, you would have completed successfully status shown to the admins. I'll go on to the next feature. So the next feature is renamed values for candidate type. I've attached a screenshot from the existing upgrade. So you can see candidate type within the filters available there. So that will be renamed going ahead. External candidates will be renamed to external. Employees will be renamed to employee. Contingent workers will be renamed to contingent. Ex-employees will be renamed to ex-employee, and ex-contingent workers will be renamed to ex-contingent. This is done to maintain clarity and brevity throughout the system. The next feature, which again something that I like, is ongoing campaigns. So apart from your normal campaign features, that is, you can create campaigns to apply for job, you can create campaigns to refer candidates, you can also do click tracking using campaigns. You would have another drop down, another field available there saying one time or ongoing. One-time campaigns is essentially that you would have to create that campaign every time you want to send out certain invites to the candidates. And ongoing campaigns is where you can have a schedule defined, let's say a weekly basis, and the audience then will be changing as per that schedule. So let's say someone who's eligible in week 1 won't be eligible in week 2. The system will automatically identify that and send out the campaign emails accordingly. The next feature is Recruiting Activity Center preview enhancements. So this is another upgrade that Oracle had done a few quarters ago, where a quick action was available to the recruiting team uh, outside of the hiring icon. Uh, Using Recruiting Activity Center, the recruiting team can manage job applications, job offers, or requisitions with just one action and one click. They wouldn't require to go into hiring again and again in order to make any actions. Now there is a summary button available there for job requisitions and job application. Using that summary button, the recruiting team can access certain details. There are some enhancements made to that summary data which is visible there. So I'll just magnify again a little bit. So now for job applications, the recruiting team will be able to see work experience, license certifications, and degrees. They will be able to see, let's say, the languages and skills that the candidate possesses. They'll be able to see the tags that are attached to those candidates within the hiring space without going into hiring and job requisition. They can see interviews that are scheduled. They can see feedback that has been received. For job requisition, the hiring team data will be visible there within summary. Requisition structure details will be visible. You will have the offer info, which is visible, and which career sites these particular job requisitions have been posted on. The next feature is again within Recruiting Activity Center, that is renewed expired request action. So let's say an interview feedback request has gone for a certain candidate to an interviewer, and that particular request has now expired. So usually what the recruiters or anyone from the recruiting team does is they have to go into hiring, they have to click on the requisition and then renew the click on the application and then renew the request. But now with just one button, as you can see on my screen, they'll be able to renew the request. Once they click on it, the request will be renewed for 14 days. All right, so I'll go on to the next feature. So there are some features in autocomplete rules. Just for your knowledge, what autocomplete rule does is you can write certain logics and rules based on which a field can default a value or validate a value. All right, so the first one here is all requisitions linked to position on current requisition. So new variable is introduced, which is position based job requisitions from current job requisition position ID. You can write your rules, you can write any complex logic based on which the field would be validated or defaulted. Autocomplete tools will help you streamline your business process a lot and will really save time for recruiters to, or anyone from the recruiting team to remember certain data. The next one within autocomplete rules is enterprise extensible flex fields, so EFF. Let's say you have created an EFF on the enterprise level and you want to use that data to write certain logic which would help validate or which would help default a value within a job requisition. In that case, we can do that going ahead. So a new variable is introduced which pulls in data from enterprise extensible flex fields. Just for your note, the impact level here is high, which essentially means that you need to test this feature out a lot on lower environments before you go on to your production environment. Oracle offers a 14-day gap between the upgrade on test and upgrade on production. The next feature is within autocomplete rules logged in user. So using this variable, now you'll be able to pull the person's primary assignment. So using that primary assignment details, you'll be able to write rules to streamline your process within Oracle Recruiting Cloud. The last feature within autocomplete rules is requisition current row of existing job requisition. So this particular variable will return unmodified existing job requisition row for the current row of the job requisition. Again, this will really help you streamline your processes and save time for your recruiting team to remember certain piece of data. The next feature is HCM data loader enhancements for recruiting, reinstate job offers from prior phases. So what HCM data loader does is you can bulk upload certain data within the system instead of doing some changes one by one. Now, Oracle has introduced this feature previously where someone can be moved from the offer phase to a prior phase. All right. So let's say so you have created an offer for a candidate and you want to move them to a prior phase for XYZ reasons. You can do that within Oracle Recruiting Cloud. But let's say you want to reform that or reinstate that, and there are a lot of candidates that you want to reinstate the job offer for. In that case, you can now use HCM data loader. A point to note here is the worker type, the legal entity ID or legal employer, and action code needs to remain the same from the offer phase. All right. Again, the impact here is high because you need to test this feature on certain candidates on your lower environments before going on to production. The next category of features is for reports. So the first one here is click tracking in campaigns. As I had mentioned earlier, you can create campaigns to really advertise your job applications or job requisitions. You can create campaigns to send out an email to your internal candidates in order for them to refer any external candidates. And apart from that, you can also create a campaign in which you can advertise, let's say, your career site pages or your other company pages in which your job requisitions are open. So when the candidates will click on that particular link, which has, let's say, the career site details, in that case, that click would be stored in the system. Now you can report upon the number of clicks that are available. So there are two new folders that are available within the recruiting subject area. The first one is click tracking details. So you can get in-depth details of this. And apart from that, there's a facts column, facts row, sorry, which will give you the exact numbers of clicks and other information regarding the clicks that have been done. All right. So I'll go to the next feature within reports, campaign audience in campaign subject area. So now you can get certain campaign audience details within this particular recruiting subject areas. So there are two new folders that are available. First one is named as campaign audience. And again, there is facts folder, which will give you the exact number of audience that are available. And the third feature in reports is recipient tracking details in campaigns. Now, using the HCM communicate campaigns real-time subject area, you'll be able to report on certain campaign details like asset type, SMS, emails, asset name, audience segment, etc. This will really enhance your reporting needs throughout your organization. This is the first feature that we're going to talk about within HR Helpdesk. So it is interaction list page. So now an interaction list page will be available from the employee summary page itself. So the HR Helpdesk agents don't need to navigate to any other place to see the summary. Apart from that, all the recent interactions that have been done between the HR Helpdesk agent and the employee will also be available there. And let's say the HR Helpdesk agent needs to view or edit the summary or resolution on certain service requests, they can do it from there itself. So this will again improve your UI significantly, and the agents won't need to navigate to multiple places in order to do these actions. The next feature is classic to next gen HR Helpdesk migration, which would include audit history. So Oracle is really recommending you to move from the classic UI of HR Helpdesk to the Redwood UI. Now you would be worried whether the audit history will be migrated. So you don't need to worry about that from 24A. All the audit history on service requests will be migrated from Classic UI to your Redwood UI. So irrespective of where the service request was created and where the actions were done, the audit history will be available within the Redwood UI. So that brings us to the end to the first category. We'll go on to the next category, which is quick wins default with configuration. So as I mentioned earlier, you would require some configuration to be done in order for these features to be available in your application. The first one here is interview title for candidate interviews. So a new field has been introduced within the interview schedule section, which is called the interview title. This field will really give information to the interview management team or the recruiting team on what is the purpose of the interview. The next feature is enhanced internal candidate experience skill. So this is chatbot within the Oracle environment. You have chatbots available for your employees. Now, I think it was the second feature where we talked about the candidates uploading their resume and getting job recommendations. Now that particular feature has been introduced within the chatbot, where the candidates will be able to upload their resume and get details on certain job opportunities which are more relevant to the content of their resume. Again, another feature for the chatbot. Here there are three separate enhancements that have been done. So the first one is that the job search has been enhanced significantly. So the candidates can now search for jobs without going into opportunity marketplace directly from their home page, using locations, job categories which are nothing but job families and job functions, right? And also a point to note here, they don't need to put in the exact details. They can also use synonyms to get the relevant jobs. All right. The next enhancement that is done is within the chatbot, they'll be able to view the interview schedules that are available for their job requisitions. And lastly, the candidate has the flexibility, or the internal employee has the flexibility to exit from the conversation at any point just by clicking exit. All right. So I'll go into the next feature, which is super user for events. So hiring events is a feature that was introduced by Oracle almost a year ago now. So there were certain privileges that we need to add to the recruiting admin role or to a different role altogether for the events tab to be visible. Now those privileges have been updated by Oracle, and they have created super user privileges which directly can be added to a custom role for the hiring events to be managed or to be created. A point to note here is the privileges that were there in up till 23D will be discontinued. You'll have to switch to the new privileges that Oracle has introduced. The next feature is within the HR helpdesk space, which is marking PI messages. I think this feature is really important. Within HR helpdesk, the helpdesk agents have the ability to send messages to the employees. And let's say a message comes through with certain PI information, which is personally identify information. So the helpdesk agents now have a button or a flag which they can click to mark that particular content as PI. This will really help your organization to adhere to certain compliance policies like HIPAA, GDPR, and PCI. And also an important point to note here, in the long term, these messages won't be stored within Oracle space, again, to your organization to adhere to certain compliance regulations. The next feature is configure smart navigator to limit options for HR helpdesk agents. So if you remember within the classic UI, you would have a navigator with multiple actions available, even though those actions are not used by HR helpdesk agents. Now using the Redwood UI, you can configure a HCM smart navigator in which only those actions will be visible which are relevant to your organization processes. Again, this will really enhance the UI for the agents to only perform those actions that are relevant to them. The next feature is UI improvements on employee summary page. So just by doing an employee search, and the employee search page will now list the open cases that are there, and these will be controlled by certain privileges that you need to provide to the agent's role. Uh, the primary contact name has a hyperlink. So when you click on that hyperlink, the employee summary page that we spoke about earlier would open up and they could see certain details of that particular employee. Apart from that, the admins have the control to reorder or hide the conversations and messages tab. This flexibility is given to the admins in order to improve your UI significantly. So without doing any multiple actions, they can directly perform their duties without navigating to multiple places. All right. Again, this particular feature is impact level high because the agents will need to acclimatize to the new environment before going on to production. The next feature here is enhanced security for case management data. The people who are aware of Oracle time and labor module, you had access groups there to write certain logics for your timekeeping. Similarly, within HR help desk, you would have access groups to have security on your cases. Again, you can write dynamic rules in order for your cases to be visible based on those rules. So this brings us to the end of the second category. We'll go on to the next category, which is quick wins opt-ins. The great thing about this category is the admins will have the ability to opt in for this feature if they think it is relevant to their organization needs. The first feature here is, and this is a feature that I really like, it is regarding the generative AI, candidate experience automation with generative AI, job category tiles and landing pages. So that's the title. What this feature does in brief is it creates a tile on the home page. So I'll just try to display that tile here using images. Yeah. So this kind of a tile will be visible on the career site. When the candidate clicks on the career site using the Oracle Recruiting Cloud AI, they'll be redirected to a page where all the job requisitions specific to that particular tile will be visible. So here you can see there are a lot of configurations that we can do. I'll just zoom in slightly so we can see it. Yeah, so you can see front end developer and certain jobs that are relevant to a category are visible on that particular page. Apart from that, you can see there's a lot of enhancements you can do to that particular page, and also you can change the design of that particular shape of the tile which is created. This will really give the candidates a great experience to explore their jobs without actually having to go into search and looking at each and every job requisitions. I'll go on to the next feature. Again, this is with respect to generative AI. This is called job fit. I'll just zoom in once again. Here you can see a matrix that is developed. So let's say a candidate has uploaded their resume in the homepage or on some other job requisition. Now a matrix will be available where the skills, the expertise, the experience, and education will be evaluated based on the resume content, and a nice message will be displayed saying that these are your strong areas and these are the areas where you can develop in order to be eligible for this particular job, right? So I'll go on to the next feature, cancel and redraft offer. This is again a great feature that Oracle has introduced in this particular quarter, and a feature that was awaited by most of my clients. There are two actions that will be available on the job application page. The first one is cancel job offer. When you click on cancel job offer, what the application will do is it will default the phase to offer. You can't really change the phase after that because you're canceling it. The state will be defaulted to rejected by employer, but you can change that to withdrawn by candidate. And you can also provide a comment which will then be displayed in the activity tab where the other recruiting users can keep a track of why the job offer was cancelled. The second action that Oracle has introduced is redraft offer action. So in the earlier upgrades, as you're aware, you had to do multiple actions in order to redraft an offer which is already in HR phase. Now with just one click, you'll be able to do it going ahead in 24A. I've kept this particular impact level as high because you really need to test this and see if this particular feature is suitable for your organization. The next feature is search enhancements for hiring events in candidate experience. So previously the job search was enhanced by Oracle. Now the event search will also be enhanced in the same way. The exact features are listed here. The first one is you can do a my location search. So when the candidates will open the career site, it will ask for your location, and then based on that location, events would be suggested. The second one is postal code search. If the candidates feel that that is easier for them, they can do that. Distance calculation. So again, since you've given your location to the career site, you can see what's the distance between your current location and the job requisition that the company has opened up. And the last one is radius search, where you can, as you can see in the image, you can give a 0, 5, 10, 25-mile radius, and all the job requisitions which are available within that radius will be visible. The next feature, and I believe this is the last one, which is use tags to classify help desk requests. So let's say a service request was opened by a certain employee and it has gone to the HR help desk agent. The agent can use existing tags which are available within the Oracle application, or they can create a new tag and apply it to that particular service request. They can apply these tags based on whatever business processes they are following currently. And this brings us to the end of today's webinar. I'll hand it over to Sachin. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Shravan, for the wonderful insights. As we have seen, there is a lot of impressive feature had came up in this quarter release. Okay, let's quickly towards the Q&A part now. Anuj Singh, please check yourself. If please check the chat or question panel if we had received any questions from our customer.
No, Sachin, I don't see any questions from the panels.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the confirmation, Arun. Okay, one important message which we would like to convey to all that if you would like to enable Redwood pages for any of the modules, or if you need any further assistance on the Redwood pages, you can certainly write to the Mastek support manager and they will able to arrange the required support. You will receive an email by next week wherein presentation, test scripts and session recordings would be available to you at a single click. And if you have any issues, regarding to the access of those links, then you can immediately post your queries to our, official mail ID, official mail to our official mail, csoperations@mastek.com, and we are working round the clock 24/7 to serve our global customer. Okay, so before you leave us, we would like to have a quick feedback on today's session. So with the help of poll, I'm launching a poll on your screen. Please rate your overall experience of today's session, where 1 being the lowest rating and 5 being the highest. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again for valuable time. Thank you for your time. Bye.